So again, I mentioned that Senator BPU President Joe Fiorelliso could not make it here today, but taking his place is Stacy Peterson. Stacy is currently the Deputy Executive Director at BPU. She graduated from Clemson University with a degree in accounting and has worked for BPU since 2003. Stacy, come on up.
Good morning, everyone. On behalf of the President, I would like to thank NJBIA for inviting the BPU to this conference. I know if he was here, he would say how much he always appreciates your hospitality and talking about our priorities with this particular audience. Since Governor Murphy took office in 2018, the urgency of action to address climate change has escalated. Climate change is ravaging our planet, and it's our job to take action. A special report from the United Nations last year called this a code red for humanity. It is vital that we move forward to continue on our way to implementing the governor's clean energy initiatives, which we are expanding on every day. New Jersey is at the forefront of the clean tech revolution. Governor Murphy and the governors of New York, Massachusetts, and Connecticut recently announced a multi-state partnership to propose a regional clean hydrogen hub. The states will join with an initial group of 40 hydrogen ecosystem partners to develop a proposal to become one of at least 4 regional clean hydrogen hubs designated through the Federal Regional Clean Hydrogen Hubs program, included in the bipartisan Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act. The state is also moving forward to reach its energy storage goal of 2 gigawatts of storage by 2030. Within the last month, BPU staff released a straw proposal aimed at reaching that goal, which will be the subject of robust public stakeholder meetings. In the straw, staff has proposed to create 2 energy storage programs for front of the meter and behind the meter energy storage incentives, both patterned after the Solar Plus Storage program proposed in the board's competitive solar incentive program. While the CSI program is designed to incentivize solar plus storage projects, this straw will focus on incentivizing standalone energy storage devices physically connected to one of the state's electric companies. The board is also right in the middle of proceeding to modernize the grid. We well recognize that as we bring our clean energy projects online, we will need more capacity. This is one of our priorities, and it is vitally important as we bring more and more clean energy projects online that we are able to connect them to the grid. Speaking of projects, offshore wind is one of the cornerstones of New Jersey's clean energy initiatives. Last month, the governor expanded the state's offshore wind goal to 11 gigawatts by 2040, up from 7.5 gigawatts by 2035, setting the highest goal of any state in the nation. Right now, we are at a little over 3.7 gigawatts of offshore wind. We have awarded 3 contracts for projects in our first 2 solicitations, with the promise of much more. The 3rd solicitation is scheduled in the first quarter of 2023 for at least 1.2 gigawatts of offshore wind energy. We are excited about the progress of our program and anticipate updating the solicitation schedule to align with the governor's new higher goals. The benefits are not only environmental, they are economic as well. We are building the clean energy economy from the ground up. The state is taking advantage of our prime coastal location by developing the wind port in Lower Alloways Creek in South Jersey. The wind port will include more than 200 acres of purpose-built space for manufacturing and marshaling, and is expected to produce another $500 million in economic activity as we establish New Jersey as the East Coast hub of the US offshore wind industry. We have also invested $250 million in a state-of-the-art manufacturing facility to build the monopile foundations that the turbines will use to serve the nation's offshore wind industry. The facility will create more than 500 high-paying jobs. We have made a substantial investment in workforce development to ensure that we have well-trained employees to fill all of these jobs that we are creating over the next several years. Not only will these programs help train the offshore wind workforce, but they will help move our offshore wind initiative forward so we can meet our clean energy goals. The board has also taken creative, positive steps towards ensuring that the wind energy can easily come ashore and into the existing grid. In November 2020, New Jersey made headlines as the first state in the country to coordinate an approach critical for offshore wind transmission planning. Under this novel regulatory approach, known as the state agreement approach, our regional grid operator is managing a competitive solicitation process to explore transmission solutions. This first of its kind approach will help us identify the most cost-effective, environmentally sensitive, and ready to build ways of bringing that renewable energy onshore. Staff is currently in the process of reviewing these applications and anticipates a decision later this month. The board can approve one application, more than one, or none, all with ratepayers in mind. Other recent highlights of the clean energy initiatives include launching year 3 of the Charge Up New Jersey electric vehicle program, which to date has provided incentives for more than 13,000 vehicles, a new home charger program, along with new application cycles for other initiatives, including our multi-unit dwelling and tourism charger programs. We also have the Clean Fleet program, which provides vehicles and vehicle charging incentives for government entities. The administration has also taken a step to address building decarbonization with the governor's announcement last week at our Clean Energy Conference of the establishment of the Clean Buildings Working Group. This group is a collaboration of the Governor's Office of Climate Action and the Green Economy and the BPU, and will serve as a cross-sector collaborative of stakeholders and experts in the industry. We have also taken important steps to enable our aging housing stock to become more energy efficient. 2 weeks ago, we launched the Whole House program with a pilot in Trenton to help improve homes in underserved communities that have health or safety issues and are in need of energy efficiency upgrades. This program is a first of its kind in the nation. From offshore wind to electric vehicles to energy efficiency, we are moving forward in every aspect of clean energy with a substantial program. Not only are these programs vital for our environment, but they're important catalysts for our economy and job creation. BPU's efforts in support of the governor's vision are helping build a cleaner environment and a stronger and fairer New Jersey for all who call it home and for generations to come. Further building our clean energy economy is a high priority of the governor and his administration. Our clean energy initiatives will be vitally important for the economy. By investing in the clean energy workforce and infrastructure now, we can create thousands of jobs, strengthen our economy, and improve the health and safety of our residents. BPU is not alone in working to advance our climate and clean energy goals. The whole of government approach includes DEP, EDA, DCA, and other state agencies. But it also includes all of you, our business leaders and ratepayers. We've come a long way, but we still have a long way to go. We have no choice but to get there, so we have a safer and healthier environment for our children and grandchildren. Thank you.
Thank you, Stacy. We are also very pleased to have with us today the newest BP Commissioner, Dr. Zenon Christodoulou. Sorry, I knew I was going to mess that up. Dr. Zenon Christodoulou was nominated to the Board of Public Utilities by Governor Murphy and confirmed by the New Jersey Senate in August 22. He has a long and distinguished career in business, academia, culture, and politics. He has been a management consultant in various industries and has owned successful businesses in print manufacturing, graphic design, the restaurant industry, and the media sector. We're very pleased to have him here today. I'm not sure this is your first public appearance as a BPU Commissioner, but welcome here today.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you very much, Ray. I kind of knew you were going to mess up my name also. So that's, welcome everyone. Good morning.
It won't be the last today.
I'm so glad to see you here on this beautiful morning at a country club without our golf clubs, which is really depressing. And I feel very familiar being in this particular corner because if you look closely sometime today, you'll see in this beautiful floral arrangement, there's one missing plant because my approach shot to the 18th green a couple of weeks ago went a little bit astray and I ended up here. I think I made it onto the green and maybe bogeyed the hole. So that was an accomplishment, but I'm very familiar here. I'm very happy to see you all. And I want to thank the NJBIA for including President Fiordaliso, and me, and Stacy Peterson with us today. And really, I'm just very happy to introduce myself to you because I know I'm somewhat of a newcomer. And knowing that in only the last 2 months of being on the board, I've been truthfully mesmerized by the impact that the utilities have on our state and on the world. And whereas before I used to just drive past a telephone pole, and now I stop and I'm in awe, and I tell my kids, do you know what that is? And they said, yeah, Dad, it's a substation. You know, we don't care anymore. But my kids are now becoming mesmerized as I am, and I'm trying to immerse myself really in all things utility because it's so important. And this most recent career of mine now really represents my first paycheck. This is the first time I've ever gotten a paycheck that wasn't written to me, by me. So I've spent my whole life, not just in the private sector, but as an entrepreneur, as many of you. And I understand to my core how important it is to keep the creative energies of the entrepreneur and of the business community going. And that's really what you're all here to do today. Keep the creativity, keep the innovations, and making sure that we achieve our clean energy goals. Also, as Ray mentioned, I've taught for the last 25 years at the graduate and undergraduate levels, innovation and strategy development. So I'm very eager to see what types of innovations not only can we come up with in thought and in theory, but most importantly, how we can apply those to the consumer. Because the difference between an invention and innovation is that one has a market application and one just stays on the drawing board. We need to make sure that all of your creative efforts come to fruition. And that's what we're looking to do. So the New Jersey Business and Industry Association has dedicated themselves to bringing businesses together to share creative ideas and innovations, and also to act as a liaison with government to make sure that we work together. The BPU has a complementary role because in addition to our long-term vision for the future, we have to have the ratepayers constantly in our minds. And I believe that the BPU now is really one of the greatest organizations I've had the pleasure of working with. And I get that feedback from so many of you and how great an organization it is. At all levels, from our president, Joe Fiordaliso, who really has imbued the BPU with his own vision, dignity, and respect for every person he comes in contact with, to the incredible staff and the truly remarkable directors of each of our departments. Our clean energy goals, I assure you, are in good hands with the BPU. And I'm sure we will get there together. But I'd like to just add one additional thought to all of the discussions we'll be having today. Going green isn't just about the environment, although it could be, and it would certainly have all the merits to stand on its own just on environmental reasons. You know, we've been on this planet for a long time. We've kind of got to stay here. I think we've gotten pretty used to it. So we have to protect it as best we can. But I believe that the overarching goals of the environmentalists, the business community, and government are actually the same. They're all about the future. Sometimes we just have different sense of time frame, whether it's the immediate short run or the very long run. Governor Murphy's ambitious plans are not just aspirations. He has set specific goals and a sustainable path to get there with 2,000 megawatts of storage, 11,000 megawatts of offshore wind capacity, and a transmission grid that will support the transition to a green energy future and encourage rapid economic growth. We will reach these goals and make New Jersey an example of sustainability and affordability, and the time couldn't be more critical than now. One additional thought for us to consider, to add to the urgency of the moment, is that in addition to sustainability and affordability, we need to concern ourselves a little bit with availability. something that we may have thought unthinkable 8 months ago, that merely the flip of a switch or the turn of a dial could light our buildings and warm our homes. But with what's happening globally, availability is something we need to concern ourselves with. We have faced energy shocks in the past, but energy shocks are not a thing of the past. In France, there are protests and they're closing gas stations. In Germany, their strategy for this cold winter is to knit more sweaters because they know that Russia is going to cut their natural gas supplies. And we're relying on people that we should never be doing business with. People like Vladimir Putin, people like MBS, who gave this infamous fist bump just a few months ago, and now the kingdom is waving something else at us. We need to act, and we need to act now. It makes no sense for us to fuel our enemies who are only looking to take us down. After the invasion of Ukraine, I was in northern Greece, near the Bulgarian border, just a few hundred miles from Odessa. And I had meetings with some very insightful people over there from the global community who were working on plans, even then, to reroute natural gas through the Bulgarian interconnector to fuel Europe and to deploy FSRUs into the region. The coordinated military response was remarkable, but most impressive to me was that it showed their preparedness for the inevitable conflict between East and West, something that Stalin predicted in 1945. We need to act together for a multitude of reasons. It's hubris to believe that we won't face increasing challenges in the future. The stakes are too high, and we must take bold action now. The solutions, of course, are not costless. Nothing ever is, we know that. But if we expect electrons to keep flowing, we must move forward together and fast. We need to invest in clean, renewable sources of energy that will allow us to transport ourselves from place to place, to heat our buildings, to connect teachers with students, to provide for life-sustaining medical equipment. And New Jersey is the natural home for new advanced manufacturing and job creation. We have the chance to create careers of the future, careers that make families work, careers that give people dignity, and careers that make societies strong. It won't be easy. Techno-economic paradigm shifts never are. But we have the ability to reshape the future in a way that we haven't in generations. I encourage all of you to work together with Governor Murphy, with the BPU, with the innovators and the business community to provide solutions to our many problems. And together, we will solve them. Our children and grandchildren will be proud of what we did, and we will be able to say, we made a difference. Thank you all so very much, and I look forward to meeting you all very soon. Thank you.